Hey everybody, this is Anna Chaos for another Anna Chaos Fitness, and I'm going to talk about, in this video, the 5 things that I didn't realize was going to happen. Well, some of it I kind of knew, but now that I've actually are gung-ho about doing a full transformation, what happens to your body when you lose like 100 pounds, what you think is going to happen, what is actually going to happen. So this is pretty much a things you did not know when you're going to drop 100 pounds kind of video. And most people, the first one is obviously saggy skin. Now, we all know you're going to get it, especially if you're dropping like anything above, like, I'm going to say 40 pounds. You're going to get some saggy skin. Even now after surgery, I still have saggy skin, which really sucks. And I'm actually going to show you guys what I still got left. But for most part, the first one would be saggy skin. Now, most women, when they lose weight, they're going to go, oh, I'm going to lose weight, I'm going to do this. And then they expect to look like this chick. You know, like this is from, I bought this back in like 2000 and like the end of 2014, 15. It's the Women's Health Training Guide 2015. I pretty much just wanted something just kind of binge read in between like my breaks and stuff that was health related. That's what started my crazy like health nut kind of reading material stuff. And in the back of my mind, I already knew I was never going to look like a Victoria's Secret model. My body is just simply not built for it. You have endomorph, ectomorph, and mesomorph. I am an endomorph, meaning that I can build muscle very quickly, but I have a hard time losing weight, and I am a little bit more of a stockier build. Versus a mesomorph, which is pretty much what they glorify mainly on the magazines and celebrities and stuff. And then you have an ectomorph, which is incredibly lean. They have a hard time gaining weight, gaining muscle. So, you know, if you're ecto or a meso, I mean, you are pretty socially acceptable. No one's going to complain. Well, actually, I take that back. Most people are not going to give you too much of a hard time if you are thin. People will give you a hard time and treat you like garbage and treat you different if you are obese. Whether it's due to a medical reason, whether it's to an emotional reason. Socially, if you are fat, people treat you badly. And I really hate to say that because I've been extremely obese at 325 pounds. And I've been kind of obese at 260 pounds. And this is the smallest I've ever been at, like 165. All right, and I'm still a little stockier than most females. So people do treat you different when you're stockier. Socially, it's not advertised as a positive body type. Now they're kind of getting away with it a little bit more by advertising a curvy body type, which is pretty much like what Jennifer Lopez and, you know, Kardashian chick, which I really don't care about her. You know, they are curvy, meaning that you're kind of not thin, but you're curvy enough that we'll accept it. It's pretty much what curvy means. It's a polite way to say it's like, yeah, we'll take it. But, you know, nobody wants to talk about that. But that's the truth at the end of the day. Because you get too curvy that you just don't look right, or you're too ethnic or whatever. You're too just for a specific demographic. The main thing, and a lot of women, I feel bad because I even went through it. You know, the one thing they want to lose is the stomach. And guess what? The last thing that will go away is your stomach, which really blows. The first thing that will go away will be your kasangas. So if you're a female, even if you're a little bit heavier, and your boobs are your pride and joy, and you're planning to lose 100 pounds, guess what? Your kasangas are going to deflate, which is pretty much what ended up happening to me. At one point, I was a size H, and I went down to pretty much a nice solid D to a double D. I'm mainly going to say D right now. And right before the surgery, literally, my boobs looked like somebody like steamrolled them down, or they grabbed like one of those like rollers and went, blah. And my boobs were hanging right by my belly button. They were still fat and mass there, but I had to literally pick them up and put them in the cup because my body had deflated that much. Your boobs will be the first thing that goes. And no one ever tells you that, but that is the truth. It's the first thing that goes. The next one will be, as you're losing weight, you will have saggy skin, mainly in your arms. You're also going to have it in your thighs, and you're going to have it, you know, in your stomach. Now, it is true that after some time, if you continue to work out, some of the elasticity will pretty much shrink right back, but it's going to be years, to be honest. It is going to be years. Right now, the main reason why I did the breast lift and the tummy tuck, it wasn't even like a look thing. It was a mix of a health issue, because if you have too much loose skin, you have to constantly keep washing it, otherwise you start getting weird rashes and all kinds of weird stuff. And then it was impeding my range of motion. I'll be trying to do a movement and I could feel my body pinching on that skin, and it'll be painful. Sometimes I have cuts and I have bruises on my skin from me trying to do a movement. And at the end of the day, there's nothing more heartbreaking than you busting your butt every day, eating right, hoping that you look like this, and you technically look like a melted ice cream cone. You know, it's kind of hard to want to continue to move forward when you just look nothing like what you expected. All that hard work to just look like the human blob, or as I like to call Clayface from Batman. If any of you guys are nerds out there, you know what I'm talking about. Not to mention that if you are single, you know, guys hate false advertisement. They really do. I mean, there's nothing worse, and I hear all the time from my guy friends, that girl was so hot, that's so hot. And I'm looking at it, it's like, dude, that chick is all makeup. They're like, no. And then they see them the next day, and there's like half their eyelashes like hanging out, the makeup smeared off, and then you can actually see what the person looked like. And it's the same thing with your body. Even if you put it on a girder, you put something to cover up all that skin, if you're trying to get intimate with somebody and they think that's what you look like, and you take off your clothes and all they see is this loose skin everywhere, there's a high chance they're not going to be very happy with what they see. And it starts messing with your mind big time. So just something to keep in mind. If you're planning to do a massive weight loss like I did, start putting some money to the side, because there's a high chance, especially losing 100 pounds plus, you probably might need to have a tummy tuck and a breast lift and, you know, whatever needs to get done. My arms and back and my thighs, I'm not worried about it, because those are things that within time, if I keep going, see, there's a little flat there, but if I flex, that's all muscle right there. So it's just a little bit of flat left. That will go away with time. I'm not that worried about this. This is minor. 7 pounds of skin. That's what they removed off of me, mainly around my stomach. 7 pounds of just skin. That, no matter what I would have done, would have never gone away. So if you plan to lose weight, start putting a little bit of cash out of each check, so that way when it comes time and you're ready, you can, if you want to go to the procedure, you have the money there. All right, just that's number one. Number two, when you lose a lot of weight, your hair on your head especially will start falling off. A lot of people don't talk about it, but I lost weight several times before. And I mean, I suffer from a little bit of anemia, which most women do. But what a lot of people don't tell you is that because you're putting your body to such stress, and then you're limiting like your food intake. Like my case, again, I'm an endomorph. I'm a big lady, so I have to go work in a deficit in order to lose weight. So my body is grabbing all my nourishment to maintain my vitals working. So things like hair is not important. So guess what your body does? Your hair's gonna fall off. Yeah, that sucks. Now the worst part is, if you're eating healthy like I am, this was starting to fall off, and then weird places were starting to grow like wildfire, like armpit and bush and mustache and the random sporadic hairs that you get on your face. And don't you deny it, every female gets that weird Fu Manchu and the weird like hairs right here all over the place. We all get it. So if you say you don't get it, you're lying. You're lying. Every person gets it. Some more than others. But we all got, that's, you know, we're seeing the tweezing, pulling the stuff off. But yeah, so the way that I remedy my stuff is that I'm taking biotin. It didn't slow down the hair loss, but it sure helped. Because when I started losing the weight, I'll be just washing my hair and it just fall off in strands. And it freaked me the hell out, because I've been bald twice before, mainly because someone did my hair wrong. I don't want to be bald again. So I want to make sure that I was getting some biotin into my system. Now, keep in mind, if you're taking a multivitamin, or if you're taking like a protein shake, or like you do stuff like Isopure, like I like Muscle Milk and Isopure, they're like my two main brands. This is mainly for the days that I just need something and I don't want to eat like some crappy stuff, but this is kind of junky. It's a lot of sugar and stuff in here. I mainly do Isopure, it's a little cleaner, the Muscle Milk. But keep in mind, a lot of those protein supplements, they actually have biotin, a bunch of stuff in there. So make sure that when you are intaking some of these foods and some of these vitamins, and you're not like doubling or tripling on the intake, and then you either be causing harm to your body or you're literally just pissing money away. So just keep in mind, there's a chance your hair will fall off. Nobody talks about it, but it's true. Biotin works pretty good. I'm not saying to take Biotin. I am not a professional medical personnel, but that worked for me. And I'm sure you go on the internet, type in Biotin, and you can find all kinds of cool stuff about that. 3, your hormones would change. So I never had acne through most of my life. And then when I started going into this regimen, or this procedure, this transformation, one thing that I noticed that I was getting acne. I have never had acne my entire life. I am currently 34 years old with acne on my face. And I'm just like, what WTF? What is going on? And after doing a little research and talking to a couple of my friends who are in the medical field, what they explained to me is that when your body gets used to being such a large size, your body produces hormones for that large size. So when you suddenly decrease the size of your body hasn't taken the time to adapt to the new size. So it's creating extra hormones in your system. So it's pretty much spewing it out however it can. And in my case, the way it shows up is through acne. So I have to now do a small regimen every time I take a shower, especially because I work out so much, because that will also affect your skin and your hormones and all kinds of stuff. Is that I have to wash with acne medication. Otherwise, it looks like I have like all these like white pimples all over my face, and I look really gross. And I just don't like that. So I use acne soap, so that way it makes that not flare up and not look like a 16-year-old teenager. The other thing that I also noticed, when you start working out, your lady time might change. I noticed when I first started working out a lot, my lady time went from being pretty accurate to being kind of like, oh wow, it went from like my usual time to like half the time, or it'll take like an extra month, or it was just doing all kinds of weird stuff because your hormones are changing. So just keep in mind, as you're going through, ask your doctor, make sure you keep track of your stuff as best as you can. And it's just your body adjusting to the new changes you're doing to your body. So don't be surprised if suddenly you're working out and your menstrual cycle doesn't come when it normally does, or lasts as long as it does, or lasts way longer than it does. It's just part of the hormonal process of your body kind of putting all that stuff out. The other change that I encounter a lot now is that things taste very differently. When you cut out things such as a lot of processed foods, a lot of high sugar, especially artificial sugar, like the stuff in soda, a lot of sodium. I pretty love sodium. My average sodium intake for the day is maybe tops about 1,500 milligrams of sodium. It sounds like a lot, but the average person, back when I used to eat like garbage, I was eating like anywhere between 3,000 to 4,000 milligrams a day, because I used to eat a lot of like the TV dinners, a lot of soup, ramen noodles. That's just jam-packed with sodium. So now, when I do get to have a cheat meal, something that is not out of my ordinary meal, I can taste it. If I have soda, I can taste the chemicals. So it's like, I only have soda with rum and Coke because I'm Puerto Rican, so I like my rum and I like my Coke. So I could taste the chemicals. If I have a cookie, if it's a homemade baked cookie, those ingredients, oh my God, it's like flavor blasted in my mouth. It's like, oh, real butter and milk. Oh no, it's delicious. You don't even need to eat a lot, because just the little bit that you get would be sufficient for your palate. It's just mind blowing. And then if you have something that's super processed, and you're just like, I taste the lard. I am done. So just another thing to keep in mind when you are losing weight and you're doing it the right way, where you're eating healthy, you're cooking at home. When you eat out, you will start seeing those differences in your palate. Even now when I have ice cream, yes, every once in a while I have ice cream. I don't need to have a big old ball of ice cream. I literally buy, I just buy like the little pints, and I literally only have maybe a quarter to half a cup tops. And a half a cup, it's too much. So a quarter cup is just enough to satisfy my buds and like my taste buds, and I'm just really happy and all that fun stuff. And the final thing that people don't tell you about is, I talked about a little before how people treat you different. One of the things that I get a lot these days is more that people don't recognize me, and that is true. I'll be going somewhere, someone I haven't seen in like 6 months to a year. They're like, they look at me, and then they're like, they don't even acknowledge that it's me, and then it's not like, hey man, how's it going? And they're like, the heck are you? I'm like, it's blah blah blah. It's Anna from blah blah, and they're like, holy crap! And most of the get is the holy crap. My favorite from my grandpa was like, oh God, you got hot. What'd you do? I'm like, thanks, I think. But you will get that a lot as well, which the good part and the bad part of that is that, you know, it feels good that people are acknowledging and people see the differences. However, the darker side that comes with that is that when you lose too much weight, a lot of people start admiring you. So now you're starting to get a whole new level of stress. Like most people, like myself, I'm just doing it because this is for me. But I've seen articles about other people that they literally are having their facade online where they literally starve themselves to look really, really good because of all the positive feedback they get. They think that if they even gain a pound back, it is going to let their fans down. And let's face it, everybody compliments you when you lose weight. Nobody compliments you when you gain weight. And I've gotten stuff in the past, because this is not my first time in the rodeo, where people will look at me and go, oh wow, you let yourself go. And, you know, not realizing what I was going through in my life at the time. And the last thing I wanted to hear was a negative compliment towards already my kind of sensitive self-esteem and my body issues. And to be told, wow, you let yourself go, I'm so disappointed. Or it's like, hey, what happened? You know, it's an innocent comment. But at the same time, if you see someone that's in shape and then suddenly they are not, there is something going on in their life that is impeding them, or they lost motivation why they're not doing what they do. Most people that are very active stay active. And normally the reason why they stop being active is either life gets too busy, something's really hindering them, such as an ill family member, children, work, whatever. Life happens. You will never be 100% in the gym your entire life unless you're one of those lucky few. Life will happen. You will get sick. You will have some traumatic issues in your life. You might have to move. You might be in an area where they don't have the facilities you have. So be mindful that when you lose weight, you are going to have a lot of people approaching you. They're mainly going to ask you stuff like about your workout. They're going to ask you about what you eat. I got to the point where if the person's really, 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 like if I see them really trying, you know, I will give them and I will invest more time in them. But on average, people ask me, they're just hoping that you're just going to tell them a quick fix. Like, oh yeah, just take this magic pill and, you know, you magically just be thin. No, most of them, the second I tell them I do paleo and I do CrossFit and I do weightlifting and I go twice a day to the gym and I run 3 miles and I do this, you see their soul slipping away from their eyes because they're like, oh God, I don't have time for that. It's like, yeah, you do. You watch TV every day. You know, TiVo, not TiVo, but like DVR that stuff. Or just go online on Netflix and Hulu and watch that stuff. You don't have to watch it right there. I like my weekend binging. I like watching TV. In fact, I got Star Trek on this screen right now, which I love Star Trek. I am a Trekkie. But for most part, you know, people just want to know, but they don't follow up. So, you know, unless I see them doing progress, you know, that, like, yeah, I'm really sticking on my food or I'm doing this, I don't invest too much time with them. I give them looks like, here's where I started. And if you stick with it and you want to ask me more questions, then I'll be happy to share. But don't sit there and waste 20, 30 minutes of my time asking for information you're not going to use and is readily available on the internet. Not to mention what worked for me won't work for you. And it's not me being an asshole. It's just that after the 20th, 40th, 50th person, you know, and you see all the time, it's like, oh, they just wasted my time and they never do anything about it. So, yeah. So those are the 5 things that most people don't tell you about when you lose like about 100 pounds. I'm pretty much like, I'm literally just at the 100-pound mark right now because I started like at 265 and currently like 165, between 165 and 170. And so, yeah, so hopefully this will help you guys. This is not meant to discourage you. This is just to give you a heads up. and just more realistic look from someone who's lost 100 pounds. So anyway, this has been Anna Chaos for Anna Chaos Fitness. Please don't forget to check out all my social media stuff, which is Pinterest, Instagram, Tumblr, YouTube, Facebook. I'm also on MyFitnessPal and bodybuilder.com. Also, don't forget my GoFundMe. You want to donate a couple bucks towards my cause, that'll be awesome. If not, please share my story. And this has been Anna Chaos. Always a pleasure to talk to you guys. You guys rock, and I hope to talk to you guys soon. Take care. Bye-bye.